This is The Clash, where the real world clashes with a true Christian worldview. Join former professional wrestler Chris Whaley, known as the Masked Saint, who is an author, pastor, and teacher that brings his wrestling skills into the squared circle and tackles real-life issues. Along with Jeff Dixon, best-selling author, internationally known teacher, leader, and pastor who is not afraid to tackle the tough issues of the world we live in. Together they form a tag team of wisdom in The Clash.
Welcome to The Clash, where we take a Christian worldview and let it clash into the culture around us. And after all of it's done, Jesus is still the winner every time. I am Chris Whaley, and I'm joined by my co-host, the great, the only, the reason for the show, Jeff Dixon.
Man,
Jeff.
Hey, Chris. I'm all screwed up because we've never started a show that way before.
I know.
Normally I start the show, so I'm sitting there thinking, what is this?
Well, it's different today because I'm starting it and you're going to get to end it.
Okay, well, but that was a brilliant beginning. I like that.
Hey, I thought it was awesome
That's
myself.
That's better than I've ever
really
done
did.
it. So that was good.
Yeah. Hey, we got an interesting show today because it's kind of.
Wait, are they not all interesting?
Huh?
Have we ever done a show that's not interesting?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're always interesting.
Okay.
But it's kind of controversial because it's about Halloween.
Okay.
And
But we've done shows on fascism and politics.
Trump.
This is the one that's controversial.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, just checking. I want to be sure.
Yeah,
All right.
we're with Christians.
Okay, all right.
It is.
I got you.
So I'll just let you, take us to the break on, what you think about this great subject that we're on today, and then we'll pick it back up.
All right. Well, it is that time of year. We're recording this. It is definitely fall here in Florida where we're filming. I mean, there is a frosty chill to the air. It's only about 90 degrees outside right now. And so fall is here. But we're getting ready for Halloween season. We're getting ready for an event here at the Church of 434 called Face the Fear.
Yep.
And it is Halloween. And this is Abundant TV is a Christian television network. So there's a strong possibility that each of you as audience members have some strong feelings about the way Christians approach Halloween. So, hey, this is a disclaimer. We might hack some of you off today, or we might thrill some of you to death.
Yeah.
Or we might bore you for the next 28 minutes. But one way or the other.
No, we're not going to bore.
Okay, we won't bore you. We promise we won't do that.
I guarantee you.
But before we get cranked up, we want to advertise some stuff. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back and we'll talk about Halloween.
All right.
Hi, it's that time of year. We get to that time of year when fall comes and people start thinking about Halloween. I don't know what you think about Halloween. I don't know whether you like it or not, but here in Central Florida, the Church at 434 sponsors an event entitled Face the Fear. The dates you need to remember, October 24th, 25th, and 26th. It's an outdoor event. It will be an event like nothing you've ever been to before. And if you want to find out more about it, visit us online at facethefearhouse.com. That's facethefearhouse.com. Our theme this year, Gator Guardhouse. And we're going to take you out into the woods to a lost, long-forgotten prison where no one ever escaped from. And that sets the backdrop for an incredible story, a night that you will remember. And we would love for you to come and be a part of that. October 24th, 25th, 26th. FaceTheFearHouse.com. We look forward to seeing you at Face the Fear.
Hey, I'm Chris Whaley. I went from professional wrestling for 10 years, wrestling some of the biggest names in the business, 4 world champions, and I left the wrestling world to become a pastor. And I wrote a book about that transition because when I became a pastor, I found out that there were some people being abused and people being mistreated. And I ended up dealing with some people more as a professional wrestler than I did as a pastor. And I wrote a book about that transition called The Masked Saint. And it's available along with my other book, which is Harold's Heavenly Christmas. If you like Christmas stories, you're going to love this one. And one day it's going to be a movie. And then my last book is Mr. President. Has 2 lives, a comedian and the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. And it is a great read.
Hi, I don't know if you're like I am, but some mornings I sit and I drink a cup of coffee and I ponder the world that we live in. And I think to myself, how do we take our Christian worldview and allow it to clash into the culture around us? And sometimes as I'm drinking my coffee, I'm motivated because I'm drinking out of my Clash coffee mug. That's right, this Clash coffee mug. I use it just about every morning. And you know what? You can have one just like it too by visiting the Clash store. Because nothing like pondering the world we live in over a good cup of coffee. And nothing makes the coffee taste better than an official Clash mug. No kidding. Don't believe me? Try it. We don't have a money-back guarantee, but just try it. It works. Hi, welcome back. We are talking about Halloween. As a matter of fact, this is the Halloween episode. And so, I don't know, Chris, what do you remember about Halloween?
You know, Jeff, when I was growing up, it was all about candy. Candy.
Amen.
I mean, as a kid, and I was all pro, Jeff.
Were you?
I mean, I worked neighborhoods. I mean, when I got home that night, my bag was full.
Was it? Okay.
And I had candy that lasted me a while.
Did you use a pillowcase?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
See, I used a pillowcase in the back because
Yeah.
I always wanted to be on the all
Well,
Halloween
you didn't
team.
want to. You didn't want to fill something up and not have any room.
Yeah.
Pillowcase.
Well, and growing up on the tough streets of College Park, where I grew up too,
Yeah.
if someone tried to take your candy, if it was in a pillowcase, you could swing it like a club and hit them.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
See,
That's good.
it would break. Now, plastic stuff breaks too.
The
easy.
Christian thing to do.
It was, in Jesus' name.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
doubt.
Okay, but then it kind of changed, Jeff. When my kids were growing up, you had some sick people that were putting needles into pieces of candy. I mean, who could do that to a child? And so it became a little bit crazy. And I remember I was a pastor. We had a church bus, and what we did is we had 20 families that signed up, and we just drove to those 20 families with all the kids on the bus.
Okay.
And let them get candy and made a good night of it and all. But now it's digressed to Jeff. If I put something if I put a lantern in my window, and some Christians come by and they look at it, I'm automatically condemned.
Yeah.
Because
You're a heathen.
yeah,
Pagan.
because Halloween has taken on. Some Christians have made Halloween dark and evil. Would you agree with that or not?
I agree. I mean, I think back to I was a kid. I used a pillowcase. I probably trick or treated. I probably squeezed an extra 2 years out of it. When I was too old to trick or treat, I was still going out. We would go out. We'd go out early. We would stay as late as possible.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got candy.
Right.
But again, like you, when my kids came along, I don't. Again, the world had changed.
Yeah.
And so I remember, I remember being very careful to pick the safe neighborhood for them to go in, and also maybe being selective at times of the houses they went to, because you had either a relationship or you're more familiar with the people you'd seen them, kind of good neighbor thing.
Right.
Because again, that was hard, and people do crazy things.
Yeah. They did.
And yeah, I mean, it became something where as much fun as I had as a kid, my kids probably didn't get to have quite as much fun as I did.
No. And plus, when my parents didn't go with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were out there by ourselves.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12 years old.
I went by myself too, yeah.
Yeah, out there.
That's
We
fun.
wouldn't dare let our kids.
No, of course not. No. You're going to be right there at the corner, watch them walk on the driveway, watch them come back. I got it.
I was amazed that I didn't even know there was a history. I didn't know how in the world did Halloween come about? And so I did a little research.
Okay.
Halloween's origin traced all the way back to the ancient Celtic festival. Don't know if you know that. It was called Samhain. It's actually spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain.
Okay.
And it's celebrated around 2,000 years ago in what is now Ireland, Scotland, parts of Northern Europe. And it marked the end of the harvest season, the start of winter, and they believed it was to be a time when the veil between the living and the dead was the thinnest.
Okay.
That's weird. And it occurred around October 31st to November 1st. They lit bonfires. They offered food to appease the spirits while wearing costumes, often animal skins. And then when Christianity spread through Europe, the Catholic Church repurposed the pagan festivals, and by the 8th century, Pope Gregory III established what was called All Saints' Day. You're familiar with that, on November the 1st. And so the evening before became All Hallows Eve, which, as we know, evolved into Halloween. Did you know all that stuff?
I vaguely have heard it historically, but again, at moments like this, this is good because again, this is for the educational portion of the show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do, Jeff, is we're going to have a Q&A with Pastor Jeff.
Oh, gee, well, that will be entertaining, won't it?
First of all, what are your thoughts on Halloween as far as Christians celebrating Halloween? What are your thoughts?
I am not radically against it. As a matter of fact, I am one of those Christians that probably have an attitude on Halloween that really might hack people off. But my reasons, believe it or not, are spiritual. Okay, and the reason is simply because when I read the Bible, which is truth, okay, I begin and I read that each day we have, that this is a day the Lord has made, and I'll rejoice and be glad in it.
Right.
Now, last time I checked, that includes October 31st.
Yep.
Which is Halloween. And so, for a Christian to hunker down and hide on Halloween like it is the devil's day or a day of evil,
right.
I think that's sin. Okay? I think if it's God's day, by hunkering down and hiding from it, what we have done is we basically have given a calendar day to Satan and his minions. So, for me, I have taken the attitude to embrace the day. Embrace the day, embrace what the culture's doing, see if you can spiritualize it, and let's live the day as it's supposed to be. It's the day the Lord has made, I'll be glad in it. So my kids have always had the joy of trick-or-treating. My yard is decorated with, right now I'm thinking it's got pixel lights that are Halloween colors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inflatables in the front yard right now. Most of them Disney's Haunted Mansion. I have a pumpkin that is a 5-foot tall pumpkin that's singing and telling jokes and stuff like that you can see. We have kids on my street come down and they play in my front yard because that's where the Halloween thing's set up, right? So I mean, I'm probably the other extreme, the Christian that probably doesn't have enough common sense, if you will. But it really is born in a spiritual place. I just refuse to give any ground to Satan. And by getting involved in Halloween, I do not think I am embracing anything that's evil. What I'm doing is going back to kind of what we were talking about as kids. I mean, it was fun. It's all about the candy.
Never thought about evil.
Never thought about evil. Never thought about Satan.
Thought about candy.
Thought about candy. Thought about scaring people, having fun, laughing, and going on with it. And and even on Halloween, I love a good scare.
Yeah.
You can scare me, that's great. As a matter of fact, to this day, my son in my mother's garage builds a haunted house.
Oh yeah.
And I did it as a kid, so he's kind of carried on the tradition.
Yeah.
And he builds this thing, and we have hundreds and when I say hundreds and hundreds, it's not an understatement. Hundreds and hundreds of kids that will get bussed in to go through this haunted house.
Wow. At your house?
That my son builds. His grandmother's house.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's great fun.
Well, the church at 434, which you are the pastor, and I'm a part of it, puts on something that is really the number one Halloween place to go in the Orlando area. It is called Face the Fear.
Yes.
So, tell me, we've been doing Face the Fear how many years?
It's over 20. I don't know exactly how many anymore.
How did it begin?
I think I mean, my attitude toward Halloween is where it started. This idea about you got to step into the culture. The Christian world can hunker down. I'm going to step into it and see if I can redeem it because it belongs to Jesus anyway, right? And I'm a product of Southern Baptist life, and so if you're Southern Baptist out there, don't be offended by this, but I went to more fall festivals than I can count on. I've seen more people try to dress as biblical characters, and talk about a train wreck that is. It was just so bad. I mean, so it's one. It's kind of like bad theater, right? There's theater, and then there's bad theater. There's costumes, and then there's bad costumes. And for some reason, Christians don't. I mean, they just don't. They don't take any pride in what they do, right? So the costumes were bad. The festivals were, and you know what? And none of the kids wanted to be there.
Yeah.
They all wanted to be in the neighborhood getting candy.
Right.
And so that's kind of where it started.
Tell us about some of the themes that you've had. I mean, last year was, what was last year?
Last year we did an event called Techwood Terror.
Oh yeah, that was it.
We're strong advocates about storytelling. And we believe that the best way to kind of reclaim this day is done through powerful storytelling. If the story's good, that's just as important as the scares.
Yeah.
And if you can tell a story, you can tell it with no blood and no gore. The evil is obviously a frame of mind. I mean, but I mean, we're not creating evil entities per se.
Right.
And we try to tell a great story that will immerse our guest into a world that they don't get to experience. It's a small group experience. So usually it's 4, 5, 6 people at the most. And we will immerse them and do our best to scare them. We want them to scream. We want them to laugh. We want them to walk out and go, that was put on by a church. That scared me to death. But when they leave, the takeaway for this is that we give them resources on how to handle fear in their life, hence the name Face the Fear. Different theme, different story every year. We try to make it a great story. But we want it to communicate some things that will help them deal with the real fear they deal with in life. And every year that happens. And as a result of this event, people make what I think are real decisions for Jesus. They get the help they need to handle the pressure of life. It allows us to create almost what is a counseling network for some people because it really they're in this kind of situation
Right.
where we kind of help them find that network that they need. And so basically, we want it to be scary though. See, and that was the thing that I wanted to be different. I again, just to hack off every Christian out there, and all their churches that have done this. Churches also used to do judgment houses, where you would go, and basically the premise was this was their story. They would put you in some kind of a tragic accident, plane crash, boat crash, car wreck, and they would send you to hell.
Right.
And then they would take you to heaven.
Yeah.
And then pressure you to make a decision for Jesus. Now again, that is a great methodology. My approach in life is if someone else is doing it, why try it? I wanted to be not only a fear attraction, or some would call it a haunted attraction, which doesn't offend me, but I wanted to be the best. Because I think when the church does something, it ought to be the best.
Right.
And so one of the greatest years we ever had is when we were named the #1 attraction in Central Florida, and they scored us better than Halloween Horror Nights, which is the big thing out of Universal, right?
Universal Studios.
Yeah. And so we have been named almost on an annual basis one of the top attractions in Florida. We usually score better than Halloween Horror Nights. We don't run it many nights, so it usually tends to have a decent crowd, but it will sell out because it's a small group experience. And we do it. We hit it.
Tell us the theme this year.
This year, it's called Gator Guardhouse. Now, we did a show earlier in the year on the alligator Alcatraz, which is where the idea came from. Matter of fact, I think the idea happened right after we did our show. And so we've created this storyline that there was a prison that was set up in Florida where the worst of the worst were taken. As they went to this prison, there was no one ever escaped the croc, right? We don't call it the Rock, that's Alcatraz, right? So we call it the croc. No one escapes the croc. And as the story goes by, a storm has come through, it's destroyed the prison. There was no remnants of the prison. No one even knew where it was until they found the journal of the former warden, who described the accident that happened, how it was destroyed, how the prisoners couldn't get out. And so they have a prison that existed that no one ever escaped from, but no one ever knew where it was until now.
Until now.
And so for the mere cost of $15, you can experience it for yourself, or you can read about it on facethefearhouse.com. But what we're doing is we're taking people and putting them in this experience. We're taking them on the same path the prisoners would have gone in when they were locked away.
Right.
And they get to see the remains of the prisoners, but more importantly, they get to answer the question, what happened to the prisoners? And I got to tell you, it's not good.
And there's a boat ride and everything. I mean,
There's all sorts of things. There's water involved.
Oh, yeah.
There's immersive experiences. There's mazes. There's alligators, as you can imagine.
Yep.
It will, sights and sound will terrify you.
real quickly, because I know we're running short on time, but what kind of pushback have you gotten over the years from Christians?
Tons. I've been blistered by most pastors in the Central Florida area.
Yeah.
They don't like the approach. They think that we are, giving in to the devil and Satan's day. I was on a Christian talk radio station locally one day, and I had a pastor that just called in and just railed me for 10 minutes. And they gave him the airtime to do it, and I finally said, "Do you want to hear why we do it?" And he goes, "Well, yeah." I said, "The reason is real simple." I said, "Because everybody that you're not going to hit, that's the crowd I'm going to have a chance to share Jesus with. I'm going to get the crowd that will never hear anything about Jesus, short of this kind of event. And I'm going to meet them on their playing field and share with them." I said, "And these are people you'll never get to talk to because you're too busy being angry at me." And he hung up on the thing, and the host said, "That was harsh." I said, "Yes, it is." I said, "But you can push back on me all you want, and I love dialogue. So I mean, I can joust with you, and I will talk all day. And I'm not asking people to agree with the approach. I'm just saying, don't criticize it. Man, I mean, if a dog's playing checkers, you just be glad he's playing the game, right? I'm just a dog trying to play checkers, and so if we can get people into the kingdom because we scare the hell out of them, they're just as saved as anybody else. And everybody can't do it. I got it. And everybody don't want to go there because is it possible to cross the line? Sure it is. Have we made mistakes over 20 years? Yes, of course we have. Have we done stuff we went later? Well, we probably went too far that time. We shouldn't have done it. Yes, but we learn from it. We try to come back from it. And our volunteers are so great. I mean, it's all volunteer. Proceeds go to one of our ministries. And so it ends up being a lot of fun. But it's wildly creative. And this year is no exception. Gator Guard House. If you go to the website, you can read about the backstory. Our Florida Haunted Houses, by the way, features it. So you can go there. And if you Google it, you'll find out it really is one of the top-rated attractions year after year in Central Florida.
Well, when you think about it, you think of all the days that, the church uses to reach people. I mean, I've been a pastor for 40 years, senior pastor before coming here to serve with you, which has been wonderful.
Oh, there you go.
But, I think about New Year's Day, we might do a series on new beginnings. And Valentine, we do a series on what? Love. And of course, Easter is, some people get mad if you call it Easter. It's Resurrection Day. Yeah. Okay, I grew up calling it Easter. I call it.
It's always a good series to have on Easter, though. But, Easter is always a good thing, right?
Great series you can do. On the resurrection story. 4th of July we do God and Country. And then, Memorial Day, we use that. Thanksgiving, a time of Thanksgiving. I've done all kinds of series on Thanksgiving and then Christmas. But Halloween is controversial, Jeff.
It is.
It is.
Well, I tell you, if the folks here really want to, I mean, again, it is not everybody's cup of tea.
No.
Admittedly. But if you will go to that Face the Fear House website, we have a lot of resources that we just keep stockpiling year after year. We keep adding to them. So they're short films. And I'm going to look at our producer when I make this statement. The podcast is still there too, isn't it? I think so. Yeah. We have a podcast, though, called I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost. We in 20-some-odd episodes, we tackled this whole idea of ghost hunting and what ghost hunters are finding.
Oh, my.
And what's going on with that. I mean, and I have folks who are all into the ghost thing and with Satan, I think they're related to Satan because they threaten me. Yeah. I mean, they will threaten me for some of the things we say because we don't pull any punches now. I mean, so when we're spiritual, we're spiritual. All those resources are there, and they're absolutely free. And so if folks want to tap into that, I would encourage them to do it. I'm sure the website will end up being on the screen at some point. But I mean, I'm not saying embrace Halloween or not. I'm just simply saying don't be afraid of it.
What we're basically saying is we're using this day to try to reach people.
Heck yeah, no doubt.
That's the whole purpose.
Yeah.
trying to reach people with the
Well,
gospel.
I mean, it's gonna be Halloween by the time we're done talking about this. But let's take another quick break, and we'll get out of this thing in just a second, okay?
Okay.
All right.
You haven't talked in a while. What have you been doing?
Well, I appreciate you asking me, Chris, because, interesting enough, I have a new book coming out. That's right. About the time you're watching this, January. Saving the Magic Kingdom, a brand new Dixon on Disney novel. Coming out, brand new publisher, Magic Press Publishing, over-the-top adventure, happening at Walt Disney World. So yeah, I've been writing a book, and it's coming out, and I'm excited about it. I hope our folks will take a moment and go out to the favorite bookseller or check it out on Amazon.
As a big fan of Dixon, I've read your other novels, and they are super. So don't forget to get this one.
That's right. Now I'll pay you as soon as we're done with this advertisement. But it's coming out. It's called Saving the Magic Kingdom, an adventure that takes place inside of Walt Disney World, and it comes out in January of this year. Pre-orders happening now. Hi, it's that time of year. We get to that time of year when fall comes and people start thinking about Halloween. I don't know what you think about Halloween. I don't know whether you like it or not, but here in Central Florida, the Church at 434 sponsors an event entitled Face the Fear. The dates you need to remember, October 24th, 25th, and 26th. It's an outdoor event. It will be an event like nothing you've ever been to before. And if you want to find out more about it, visit us online at facethefearhouse.com. That's facethefearhouse.com. Our theme this year, Gator Guardhouse. And we're going to take you out into the woods to a lost, long forgotten prison where no one ever escaped from. And that sets the backdrop for an incredible story, a night that you will remember. And we would love for you to come and be a part of that. October 24th, 25th, 26th. FaceTheFearHouse.com. We look forward to seeing you at Face the Fear.
Hey, welcome back. For those of you that we haven't totally ticked off, and for those of you who have not turned us off, we're glad that you're back. It's just, I've done some crazy stuff in my lifetime. Well,
Sure.
being in professional wrestling, you got to do crazy stuff.
And you wore a mask when you did it.
I did.
And it wasn't even Halloween.
I did.
I know.
I wore a mask. I did. So, it just amazes me how, some people can be so condemning for, people that are trying to take a day and trying to reach people with the gospel and reaching people that none of the other churches will reach. So, Jeff, I just commend you. This will be my second year to be a part of this. Mm-hmm. And last year was a hoot. I mean, I loved it. I was amazed at the people that came through it and their reactions.
It's quite a crowd.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I thank you for not being pushed off of the stool, man.
Oh, I appreciate that as well. I mean, and I'm glad you're here. Glad you're part of it. And again, if you want to check it out, by all means, feel free to do so. And if you're in the Central Florida area, come see us. We would love to see you. And the dates are on the website, and you can check that out for yourself. But in the meantime, because Chris introduced this thing and got us in, I'm going to go ahead and exert pastoral privilege here and say to you as our audience, no matter what, whether you like Halloween or don't, whether you get candy or not, whether you dress up or not, we don't care. But here's what we want to tell you. Don't tap out. Hey, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. All right.